Good morning, everybody. We're going to get started. My name is Sherry Runner. I'm the president and CEO of the Chicago Urban League, and welcome this morning as we are pleased to host today's youth employment hearing with our elected officials, our agency partners, our community members, and most importantly, our youth. They're here in force, so let's give them a hand. I know we're all looking forward to hearing their presentations because we know today's discussion on youth employment directly impacts their future. I would like to thank Jack Wiest and his team at the Alternative Schools Network for taking the lead to ensure that there was representation from key agencies throughout the city that advocate for our children. We will continue to fight this battle. I think this is the 4th or 5th year that we have done this hearing, and we look forward to our youth speaking truth to power. Organizations like the Westside Health Authority, the Chicago Area Project, Youth Connection Charter School, the Black United Fund are always at the forefront of pushing for more funding so that our kids not only have summer jobs, but meaningful experiences. Special thanks to the University of Illinois Chicago Great Cities Institute for developing the report on youth employment statistics. Sadly, Chicago is leading the pack in youth unemployment. We are calling on our legislators to help change these numbers. It is no secret that securing jobs for youth leads to decreased participation in criminal activity, and many youth depend on these jobs to help support their families. What may start off as a summer job might just help that inquisitive young person determine a future career path. This is not about charity. It is a business imperative. It's not only for the future labor pool, it's the future customers and future community members. So the Chicago Urban League is committed to empowering youth by providing them with jobs that build esteem and responsibility. Let's continue to work together to ensure that there are as many jobs as there are youth who want them. And with that, I'd like to bring Jack Wiest up here to start our program.
Thanks, Sherry. I'm glad everybody could come. The report is pretty devastating, but it's the reality. It's the real picture. I would like to bring up the program and the schedule is on the front page on your right in the red folders. And I want to thank all the elected officials who are here and people from other agencies that are here. It's important. In the past, when we've had these hearings, it's a great chance for young people to say what it's meant for them to have a job, not to have a job, and personalize it for everybody here and the legislators. Last year, the legislators, and particularly Senator Hunter and Senator Lightford and other people in the Black and Latino caucuses pushed for $20 million, which would have employed 12,000 young people across the state. The money passed the House and Senate, but then it was eliminated through the governor. We hope it's going to be resubmitted again. We hope we can convince the governor to fund these programs because it's as Sherry said, it's a good investment. It helps reduce crime. It gives the kids something for themselves too, and builds their self-esteem. With that, Jesse, if I could ask you to say a few remarks, and then after that will be Larry Vaughn, and then we'll do a presentation by Teresa Cordova from the Great Cities Institute at the University of Illinois, and then Kelly Hallberg, from the University of Chicago Crime Lab about their study, not a survey, of the One Summer Plus program that's funded through the Chicago Department of Family and Support Services. Jesse?
Thank you, Jack, and thank you for the tireless efforts that you have spearheaded for many years. And while it's also always good to see everybody here, frankly, I wish we could finally achieve what we've been working for and spend our time on other issues. Unfortunately, we keep addressing this one until we get somewhere. Normally, I would come here as a representative from the Chicago, either the Illinois State Board of Education or the Chicago Board of Education, and for the first time in 17 years, I'm not affiliated with any educational bodies any longer. Timing might be a good thing, actually. But I am now affiliated with the Chicago Parks District, Chicago Park District. And something in preparation for this morning I was very proud to learn of. The Chicago Park District is the largest employer of youth in the state of Illinois. 4,000 summer jobs the Chicago Park District creates every year. 2,600 of those are for people 14 to 24 years old, and 1,400 of those are for people 14 to 18 years old, so our youngest members of the workforce. And thinking back to when I started working, I was 14 years old. Calumet Country Club as a caddy, and worked, and then Justice Stationery and Sporting Goods, 11325 South Michigan in Roseland, where I grew up. Ted Justice, great guy, gave me a job when I was 15 years old, and I worked there up until college, and learned responsibility, learned what my education was for, learned about inventory, learned about bills of lading, learned about business terms that I didn't know anything about when I was 15, but I actually still use today as a corporate lawyer. And so that's what's so critical about feeling I belonged to a business community in the Roseland community, feeling I belonged, that I was putting my high school education to work, feeling I could help my family, and started buying all my old clothing with that. Gosh, I think minimum wage was about $3 an hour back then that I was earning, but it meant a lot to get that weekly envelope with my earnings. And so it's critical, and you see some of the effects today of not having those opportunities for young folks to be engaged, to feel part, to feel valued, and to frankly build those work skills that will carry us through the rest of the year. I still draw upon those customer service skills as a corporate lawyer with clients today that Ted Justice taught me in 1979, 1980. So it's critical. I know it's critical. Thus, I'm always honored to be here and part of this effort, but I'd like us to finally achieve our goals and make some progress so that we can have other young folks years from now, frankly, leading our communities in these efforts and other efforts, because they will have had those skills and build those opportunities for themselves and for others. So thank you all for all your collective efforts, and I look forward to us achieving some progress this year at both the national, state, and local level. Thank you very much.
Next, Larry, do you want to say a few words? Larry Vaughn from the Youth Connection Charter School. Youth Connection Charter School is the largest charter school, multi-site charter school working with high school dropouts re-enrolling in the country, and has on the SQRP the ratings rated 1, which is very good.
Good morning. My director is sorry she couldn't make it today. She's in the hospital. So Sheila sent me out to play. Good morning. Most of the students I have seen on our campuses, this discussion has been going on, quite frankly, since 1980 to 2016. As I and my director worked at Alternative School Network for 19 years, Youth Connection Charter School for 18 years, this issue continues. The youth in our communities is the stabilization of our community. With our youth being involved, and education involved, which makes good citizens. That's all education is, good citizens. If there's no foundation within the community, which is employment, which is education, we have what we have today. I had a conversation with someone this morning coming in about crime on crime. Bottom line, as old axiom go, idle hands is the devil's workshop, I know. But employment is what stabilized our community. We watched the deterioration of communities from 1980 to the present when I returned to Chicago. That is what we're doing today. And I have seen progress slowly, but it must continue. And hopefully the group that are here today will address that and help the youth which we serve. Have a good day.
Okay, next we'll have Teresa Cordova, who's the director of the University of Illinois Great Cities Institute, make a presentation about the report. It'll be about 10 minutes, and then we'll have Kelly Hallberg from the University of Chicago Crime Lab about their study on the One Summer Chicago program, which showed very important crime reduction with young people who had employment versus a group of young people that didn't have employment.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Honorable commissioners, counselors, representatives, senators, all of you, especially the youth, it's an honor to be here. I wish I were here with better news, better information, but we do want to provide for you the numbers. So first off, let me tell you a little bit about who is Great Cities. We're at the University of Illinois Chicago. The point is that we serve UIC's urban mission and its commitment to the city of Chicago. I've come now to all of these hearings, and I've sat intently and listened to young people talk about their conditions around employment and its relationship to what's going on in their neighborhoods. And so the idea is that this report helps provide some of the quantitative data to supplement what you all have been telling us. Unfortunately, the news is not good. What we've tried to do here is to bring research to help illuminate some of these issues. I want to also let you know that the report is, first of all, available in your packets, and I encourage all of you to read it. I especially encourage the young people to explore through the charts and the graphics and so on. And it's also going to be available both on ASN's, actually it is available on ASN's website now, and will be available on ours. At the back of the report, there's an appendix that will tell you what our data sources were and what our methodology is. Primarily, we use census data, and we tracked 2015 to 2014, and we were looking at the statistics by race and by age. We compared it Chicago to Illinois, to the nation as a whole, and then we also decided to look at Los Angeles and New York to give it a basis of a comparison. Some of the overarching observations that we made is that for young people in Chicago, especially blacks and Latinos, conditions of joblessness are chronic, concentrated, and comparatively worse than every place else in the country. We have low rates of employment, high rates of joblessness, right? That they have declined. Either the employment has declined, the joblessness has gone up, and what we're finding here is that this is persistent over time. We also had looked at some figures going back to 1974. We're dealing now with a situation that we characterize as chronic. The other thing that we did is we did some mapping, we did GIS mapping, and we were able to also confirm what we know, which is that the conditions of joblessness and low rates of participation are also concentrated geographically. So that the neighborhoods, for example, that have the highest concentrations of African Americans, for example, have the lowest rates of youth employment and the highest rates of joblessness. Conversely, those neighborhoods that have the largest amount of whites in those neighborhoods have the highest rates of employment and the lowest rates of joblessness. So the second characteristic is that it is concentrated. And then thirdly, when we compared it to all these other places, Chicago was the worst. Whites were the only group that went up, had an increased employment rate from 2005 to 2014 for 20 to 24-year-olds. The biggest drop in employment rates among 16 and 19-year-olds was female Latinas in Chicago, right? Followed by Latinos as a whole. In other words, since 2005, employment for Latino youth is actually dropping, right? Hardest hit was the females, but it was the Latinos overall whose employment rates have dropped. When you compare all the national figures, Chicago youth are less likely to be employed. In Chicago, for 16 and 19-year-olds in 2014, for blacks, it was 12.4%, Latinos 15%, and for whites 24%. For 20 to 24-year-olds, the rate for blacks was 41%. The employment rate was only 41%. Right? Across all indicators, in other words, looking at employment population ratios, looking at joblessness, looking at out of work, out of school, looking at labor force participation rates, black young people fared worse in Chicago. compared to other race, ethnic groups in Chicago, and compared to other blacks across the country. Okay? And when you pull this out, black males are particularly the worst. In Chicago, when we look at the out of work and out of school rates for black 20 to 24-year-olds, check this out. It was more than 6 times higher than it is for whites. All right? That is for black 20 to 24-year-olds. Among the 20 to 24-year-olds, Chicago had a higher percentage of blacks that were out of work than in the U.S. Illinois. You can see those stats are out of work, out of school. But that last figure up there is the one that I found. These are all really disturbing numbers, but that last figure is particularly disturbing. We're looking at almost half of black males in this city between the ages of 20 and 24-year-olds, both out of work and out of school. They're almost half. All right, that's a pretty disturbing figure. In terms of looking at the geographic distribution, again, in those areas where you had 40 to 60% or 60 to 80% joblessness or jobless individuals, that was consistent with areas that had the highest concentrations of black populations and black youth over 18. Right, so again, making the point that it's concentrated. And then conversely, for whites, they had the lowest jobless rates. All these charts are in the report. I'm going to flash through them just very quickly. But you can see, just glancing up there, for example, on the right there, you can see those figures of black youth. This is 16 to 19-year-olds from 2005 to 2014. You can see how low they are in relation to the other groups. This one here looks at 20 to this one breaks it down by gender, 16 to 19-year-olds. So here you can see that black males and black females, in terms of it's worse for black males, but it's not so great for black females either. Right? And you can see the Hispanics are the next lowest group, and whites are certainly higher. But in this chart, you're able to compare it not only to the United States, but to Illinois. And again, you have all this data, so you can look at it more carefully. I just wanted to highlight a few things. This one is the same information, except that it's for 20 to 24-year-olds. Right? So you get the same comparisons here. And when you see it like that, it's pretty visually stark in its comparison. This is some of the same data that I just showed you, except that it pulls out LA and New York, and this is just U.S., Illinois, and Chicago. But again, you can see how much worse off we are in Chicago. Now, almost every group declined from 2000 to 14, except more recently the whites that went up, but or white males that went up. But one of the things that's really interesting about these figures as well is that Illinois itself is also going. The employment rates for Illinois are getting worse for blacks statewide. So not only is it becoming worse for Chicagoans, for blacks in Chicago, it's becoming worse for blacks in Illinois. That's the whole state. Another set of figures there. This is employment by population and gender. So this one gives you the female comparison. Again, all of these are in your report. This table here brings out figures looking at out of school and out of work. So in other words, when we did the employment rates, we did employment as it related to population. This one here, we pull these out for those youth who are not working and compare them. And you can see there, once again, the blacks fare the worst. This one here pulls, that figure before that I just showed you actually looks at all 16 to 24-year-olds. So it's the first set looks at all 16 and 19-year-olds not broken down by race, all 20 to 24-year-olds not broken down by race. And then when you look at blacks, Hispanics, and whites, looking at all 16 to 24-year-olds. The next chart breaks it down, 16 and 19, 20 to 24. And again, when you look at these, you can see these are high figures, 42%, for example, at 20 to 24-year-old blacks out of work. Same figures, but shown to you a little bit differently to graphically make the point. This is a figure where you can see that six times difference between blacks and whites in terms of joblessness rate. This one is also broken down by gender. So you, again, can see, if you look over there, you look at black males, that's where you can see that 47% of black males, 2024, that are out of work and out of school. Same figures, but shown to you a little bit differently, so you can see the contrast. And again, so much data. When you look through this report, you'll be able to see there's a lot of data. There's a lot of different things that we could have done with this data. But in order to keep our hearing moving, let me just show you real quickly some of these maps. Some of these maps will show you the concentration of the populations. And then if you keep going, the blue, for example, shows that that whole area has a low percentage of whites in those neighborhoods, right? But if we keep going, you'll see that employment rates are percent of jobless individuals. So that the red, you see that the red is a higher percentage of unemployment. Right. So, but the point of these maps is to be able to visually see where there's large concentrations of African Americans, is where 18 and over, is where you have large concentrations of joblessness, right? And you see the same pattern for Hispanics, but just not as dramatically, right? And then conversely for whites. So some concluding comments. Joblessness, particularly for black males, is most definitely at crisis proportions. Joblessness, especially when chronic, which this is, right, where it's very persistent over time, we're now talking about a chronic situation here, leaves permanent scars, which affects families, households, and neighborhoods. Because joblessness is so concentrated in racially segregated areas, improving opportunities for youth employment must go hand in hand with improving neighborhoods. Right? We've got to bring the neighborhoods back in order to bring youth employment opportunities back. There you go. And that's, I think, my 10 minutes.
Yeah, I can't thank Teresa enough. This report was put together very quickly, within about a week and a half. And they did a nice layout and a nice presentation. Before we get to Kelly, I'd like to just thank all the officials and people who are here as part of the panel. Cook County Commissioner Richard Boykin, Alderman Walter Burnett, Lisa Morrison Butler, who's the Department of Family and Support Services Commissioner, Alderman George Cardenas, District Director Karen Shavers from the Office of Larry Sufferton, County Commissioner. Is Alderman Willie Cochran here? State Representative Will Davis, State Representative LaShawn Ford, Cook County Commissioner Bridget Gaynor, Cook County Commissioner Jesus Garcia, Shui. He texted me earlier, he said he needed to bring some more batteries for his hearing aids. So we'll just turn the sound up to a level 10. State Senator Napoleon Harris, State Representative Lisa Hernandez, State Senator Maddie Hunter, State Senator Kimberly Lightford, State Representative Camille Lilly, Department of Family and Support Services Deputy Commissioner Mary Ellen Mesner, Alderman Harry Osterman, State Representative L.G. Sims, State Representative Cynthia Soto, Alderman Christopher Taliaferro, who in our original thing we had Christian, and he said, well, that'd be a good name too. State Representative Arthur Turner, Audra Wilson, Deputy Chief of Staff for Congresswoman Robin Kelly, Cook County Commissioner Robert Steele, yes, and Alderman Pat Dowell. Did I miss anybody? Okay, good. We'll bring Kelly Hallberg up. She'll make the presentation of the University of Chicago's One Summer Chicago Study. And then I just have to say, I'm glad that Donald Trump has announced an employment program of 1 for Sarah Palin.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here. I'd like to talk today about some work that we've done jointly with the Department of Family and Sport Services. And I sort of wanted to start with this quotation that I think many of us have heard. Nothing stops a bullet like a job. I think this idea is pretty intuitive to a lot of people in this room. It seems like there's a lot of reasons that jobs might be a very good way to prevent violence in our communities. Jobs give youth something productive to do with their time, provides income in a way that's through the legal economy, and also provides sort of an opportunity and some hope for the future and understanding that you have this job. However, before we started working with the Department of Family and Support Services in 2012, there wasn't a lot of rigorous evidence to really back up this feeling. And the cynics would argue, oh, by the time kids get to high school, it might be too late to invest in better opportunities. And we really feel like that is absolutely wrong. And we wanted to be able to show that that's wrong. And so we've worked very closely with the department to be able to provide rigorous evidence that will stand up even to the most hardened skeptics. So I'd like to just take a little bit of time before we hear from youth to walk through that evidence. So we started working with the department in 2012 to study the One Summer Plus, Chicago Plus program. As many of you know, this is an 8-week summer program where youth were given government or nonprofit jobs for 25 hours a week, and also provided with some supports to help, because I think if I remember my first job, sort of understanding the dynamics of being in the workplace for the first time, it's a transition. So the youth were given a 1-day job readiness training, an adult mentor that helped them sort of transition through into the workplace and had supports. In addition, for half of the youth, they received 2 hours of social and emotional learning training that sort of included cognitive behavioral therapy, again, to support their work in the workplace. Sort of unfortunately, as it's been pointed out, there's more people who want jobs than there are jobs. And so there were far more applicants for this program in 2012 than there were spots. And so we worked with the department for 2 reasons to give away these jobs based on lottery. So first of all, it felt like sort of the most fair way to allocate the limited number of jobs, but it had the secondary benefit of allowing us to really understand what was the effect of offering these jobs to youth. And so we did a lottery, and of the 1,634 applicants, 364 of these applicants were given a spot in the summer jobs program, and an additional 366 were given a job plus that sort of social and emotional cognitive behavioral therapy component. And then we tracked the outcomes both for the youth who received the jobs, but then also the other youth who had applied but didn't receive the jobs. And we looked at their outcomes in terms of their arrest, their schooling, and their employment. To give you a little picture of who these youth were, they were 8th through 12th graders that were drawn from the 13 high schools that were sort of in the highest violence neighborhoods. 95% of the youth were African American, 92% were on free and reduced price lunch, 20% had some kind of an arrest record before starting the jobs program, and the neighborhoods that the youth came from had 19% unemployment rates. So when we looked in the data, the first thing that jumped out to us, and we had to look at the data several times because the results were so impressive, is that the summer job program reduces violence by a lot. So for the young people in the program, there was a 43% reduction in violent crime arrests. And one of the questions that people asked us, so we think like this alone is kind of a big deal, but one thing that people asked us were like, oh, well, does it, is that just during the summer? Is it just when the youth are in their jobs, and once the job's over, it's a short program, when the jobs are over, do these effects disappear? The exciting thing, this is sort of a nerdy graph, but the the takeaway from the graph, I think, is very exciting. What it shows, so as the sort of horizontal flat line is the comparison group, and that squiggly line is the youth who were in the jobs program. What this graph is showing us is that as we moved farther away from the summer program, the effects of the program actually got bigger. And so, 18 months after the program had ended, we're still seeing differences in outcomes for these youth. So we think this is really, really promising. This study garnered some national attention for the city, and it was, got some headlines and some attention. And that, in turn, led to some resources to come into the program. So there's been philanthropic support for the program as a result of this strong evidence, and that has included the Magic Johnson being involved with the program. With this additional funding, we were able to serve 2,000, the Department of Family and Sport Services, were able to serve 2,000 additional disadvantaged youth in 2015, 3,000 youth in 2016, and 4,000 in 2017. We continue to work with the department. I think the presentation before me really highlights that these results we find to be really exciting, but there's a lot of work to be done. And so we continue to work with the department to try and understand the most effective way to structure the program so that we're getting the biggest bang for our buck for every job for the youth. But also trying to think about what do we do after the summer and what do we do after this period to make these results even bigger and more sustainable for more youth in Chicago. So, thank you.
We'll now start with the youth testimony for the Chicago Area Project. They have 3 youth who will testify, Jonathan Allen, Antonio Monix, and David Ellen.
Good morning. My name is Jonathan Allen. I'm 24 years old. I had a summer job with Chicago Area Project the summer of 2014, which is 2 years ago, which is kind of funny to me because that means there should be another young black man right here speaking because he should have worked the summer of 2015 with them, but he couldn't. So, I'm right here speaking. And I really don't really have too many, numbers to say or nothing because we all here educated, conscious, and I feel like it's kind of insulting to me and everybody here because we steady seeing the problem. We need jobs. We know what's going, what it's going to prevent, what's happening when it's not happening. You don't need people to go ahead and research for that. All you got to do is come outside. We on 47 right here. Just walk up the street. You'll see what happened when you ain't got the job. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to ask, what can I do personally as a youth to get the job? Because speaking every year so far, I ain't doing it. Getting my friends to come down here and participate ain't doing it. And ain't doing nothing more but what I think Mr. Weed said, causing more and more of a scar because we wasting money that we don't have to participate in things that's leading us nowhere. And that's having us, having anxieties to do things that's getting us locked up and all this other stuff that we all know, yes, yet again, that we steady talking about another year. So, I just want to propose that if we don't get nothing happening, can we do this again in summertime so that way we can go outside and do it and involve more people since people seem like they need to see, well, let's go see it then. Because, it's right here in your face. It ain't too hard to find. We need jobs.
First and foremost, I do want to take the time to look at everybody in the eye just so, we real people. Like my brother said, we real people and we got real lives, you know what I'm saying? And like you say, our real lives are not that far out this area that we in right now. And I would say I'm a product of the success what some of jobs are because I feel like the things that are going on in my life now, the positive things that I'm into now, I'm mentoring youth and things are because I was placed in situations like Chicago Area Project, because somebody introduced me to that and be able to have that experience. You know, it was the time of my life where I couldn't afford to continue to go to college. So I was at a place in my life where I really didn't know where I was going to go. And being able to be a part of a program like Chicago Area Project really grabbed me, and it taught me so much. I became the chairman of a youth board. I got to learn so many things, be a documentarian, and then it led me to other opportunities. They led me to mentorships that I got to have from Mr. Williams or different people in the office, getting experience so that I can take on other jobs. It allowed me to introduce me to programs like Year Up and Youth as Resources. It really gave me so much for me to be able to take to my community. And then it's like my brother said, it's sad because sometimes like I see people in my community that they want to do better for themselves, but they like, only way I can do better for myself is I got to make something happen for me. I got to go to another state to go sell drugs or do something like that. Like, it's real. Like, I have several brothers that tell me, like, man, like, I hear you saying, like, I should take the positive route, but what I'm going to do, man, I got a daughter, man, I got kids to feed, man. So it's like, I'm really saying that these jobs, I'm a product of how good a job can be, because there's so many people out here that don't have the jobs, and they get into the wrong things.
Good morning, everyone. My name is David Elam. I'm 25 years old. I reside from the West Garfield Park community. First and foremost, I want to give thanks to the distinct panel. It's an honor to sit here again in front of you and tell you about my experience with summer jobs. Summer jobs to me are very distinct and they're very important. Like my brother Antonio said, I am too a product of summer jobs and the success that it has had on my life. I've been involved with Chicago Area Project for 6 years. My journey with Chicago Area Project began back in 2010 when my life was headed down a path of tremendous destruction. I, at the time, was expecting a child. I, at the time, was very negative, very destructive in the West Garfield Park neighborhood. I came from one of the biggest street gangs on the west side of Chicago, and I really didn't know where my life was headed. I mean, I didn't have a job. Selling drugs was my only option that I thought to provide for my child at the time. And I'm here today to tell you all that my life has changed dramatically over the last 6 years. Coming into Chicago Area Project, I've gained so much. With having a summer job, I've gained so many skills such as time management, being able to know what it is to have a job, being able to get up early and go into a job. I've learned money management, learning how to manage my money instead of spending on materialistic things and spending on things that I need and not things that I want. Also, work ethic, the meaning of how to present yourself when you're at a job, knowing how to talk to your supervisor or your employees, not coming there with the attitude each and every day. I've gained to the fact, with being with Chicago Area Project, I stumbled upon another organization, Fathers Who Care, which I am still involved with today. Being with that organization, I'm sad he's not here. My number one mentor, who I love very much, Reverend Walter Jones. He taught me so much. I mean, he taught me to just, step outside the box and fight for what you believe in. One big skill that I've gained from being a part of that organization is communication. Because learning how to sell yourself, learning how to stand in front of all of you and tell you about my experiences, I never thought I'd be able to do that. And communication to me is one of the biggest qualities that I've gained. I mean, I was mentored. Someone saw a second chance in me. Someone took me under their wing and showed me the highways and byways and the right ways to go throughout my life in the path of destruction. One memory that I'll never forget here is my probation date was coming to an end. And I stepped in front of my judge and he asked me that one question. He said, "Why haven't you paid your fees?" And I told him I didn't have an answer. I didn't have an answer for him. And he asked me that one question. He said, "Son, what do you do for a living?" I said, "Well, I'm involved in a youth organization called Fathers Who Care, where we come together as youth and help to stop the violence in the community." And he said, "Oh, just like this folder that I have in my hand." And he said, "You know what, son? Have a nice day." And just like that, my probationary time had ended. I got off a month early. And that's something that I'll never forget that he's done for me. These organizations and these jobs, they are very critical to the lives of our young people. And you all can make that happen. And I want to leave you all with 2 quotes that I've learned over the past 6 years. Young people can't be what they can't see. And I want all young people to listen to me in this room. You can't be what you can't see. So if you do not see positivity, you will not be positive. If you see negativity, you will remain negative. I'm sitting here before you all this morning saying that I'm a product. I am a second chance. Don't walk around with your heads held low. No one is out here not believing in you. There's someone out there who believes in you as they believed in me. And they will give you a second chance. And with that said, teamwork will make the dream work. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll have 2 students from the Chicago Urban League, Cameron Irving and Carl Blanton. And then we'll have 2 students from Westside Health Authority, Tevin Smith and Anthony Hill. And everybody, hold your testimony to about 2 minutes each. Thanks.
Westside is here.
Hello? How y'all doing? I am 16 years old and I attend Delmar Vocational Career Academy up the street. What's your name? My name is Carl Blanton. I would first like to give gratitude to my mentor, Nicholas Martin, and Kermit Collins, who is involved in the Workforce Development Center. I worked at Paul G. Stewart, which was, I had to mentor young children at the age from 17 to 12, I believe. And I helped them the same way my mentor helped me. He led me in the right direction. He showed me that education was key to success. And I used the knowledge that I have encountered with him, and I used it on children who was in need. I believe that mentoring is a big stage in a young person's life, and I feel that everyone needs that leadership in their life. So the effect that he had on me, I wanted to put out on the other children. So I would like to thank the Workforce Development for putting me in that situation to help the children. One thing that I definitely say I gathered from the Workforce Development was patience, because I work with kids, and man, so so I work with them, and I just want to lead them in the right direction and show them that violence wasn't the key, and give them, like, I tried to just help them. And basically, well, the work enforcement that really helped me to start on my life. It gave me advice. It showed me that a little doses of what it's like to be an adult. I was able to work and get a steady pay, and that was really a blessing, because there's nothing really out here besides negativity. Like, to get money in Chicago for youth is very hard, and thanks to the program, it was like nice legal money. Legal money. Like I try to stay in the house because I don't want to be a statistic. Like, like I said, I don't want to be a statistic, so I just try to stay in the house, and I love money. I love money. So I was given that opportunity, and I was so blessed and grateful that I was given that, and for that I would like to give thanks to the Workforce Development Program and the Chicago Urban League, and also my mentor Nicholas Martin, who led me into that direction. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. My name is Cameron Irvin. I attend Simeon Career Academy. I'm 17 years old, and I wanted to share the importance of the Summer Youth Employment Program and how it helped me. It benefited me. It gave me an experience that showed me the greater things in life. Gave me a feeling that I could become more. I could become somebody that matters. Somebody that my own family told me that I couldn't be. And without it, I don't know where I would be. I probably would be where people think a kid like me would end up anyway, just because of where I live. But I refuse to let somebody dictate my future. I worked at R. Donnelly, a printing company, and it showed me and it gave me professional ways and working and people skills. And I had people to be inspired by, and I just wanted to become more and be somebody. And the money that I earned gave me power and a sense of responsibility, and showed me that I can provide when I grow up. I want to thank the Urban League and my mentors, because without them, I don't know where I'd be. So, as I just want to be thankful and say thank you to the Summer Youth Employment Program for providing me the opportunity to earn money, because violence is the only thing that's out there. And without somebody to look forward to and some positive role model, I would end up like the people that I see every day that's out there. So I just want to say thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good job. Good. Two students from Westside Health Authority, Tevin Smith and Anthony Hill. Again, 2 minutes each, that'd be great. We're right on schedule.
How's everybody doing today? My name is Tevin Smith. I'm 20 years old, and I'm part of the Westside Health Authority. I started off as just a regular mentee who grew up to a youth ambassador. Now I'm a junior mentor. And basically, the other guys around here, most of them was just talking about summer employment, but we need employment for throughout the year, because even though the summer is good, you know, everybody can be out, but what about the winter? It's cold. People have kids, they got stuff to take care of, you know, and it's hard out here for us just being black men. I can walk out this door right now and not make it even to see my mom again. And it's tough, it's hard, it's crazy that it's even happening like that. Well, I feel that in this life, violence and negativity is what comes first. And you always have to push forward to positivity. Like, it's never always in your face. But with the Westside Health Authority, I always had positive people in my face telling me what good to do, make sure you stay in school, you feel me? Don't get in a lot of trouble. But of course, everybody tells you that, but it's up for you to listen to it. And excuse me, I'm kind of a little nervous. But
You're talking to family. Don't be nervous.
It's just, you know, I'm on a hot seat. I ain't used to being hot seat. But y'all laughter makes me feel better. And,
All right.
and this how I feel. Like, if y'all can put money into building a better Wrigley Field, why y'all can't put money into building better youth? Because our generation, the society said our generation is the way it is, but our generation can never grow if the former generation didn't teach us what we need to be taught. So you just can't blame us, you gotta blame them too. And basically, my point in coming here and talking to you all is not to make y'all do anything, it's just to look your mind to like, hey, I'm 20 years old, I never been incarcerated, I've been doing good, but me doing good, I have no money, I have no job, and me being the man of the house now, because I lost my father last year, I have a 16-year-old sister to take care of, and the streets not gonna let me take care of that. I might make the money, but violence come with that. I could be making money, and then, you feel me, now my sister don't have a father or her brother. And bringing youth employment throughout the year, it will prevent that. Everyone wants drugs and violence to prevent. Will get us off these streets and get us in these work clothes and let us work, and then you will see the change. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Hello. My name is Anthony Hill, and I'm 21 years old. I'm with the Youth Council with WHA, and I've been working with them for about 2 or 3 years. Working with WHA, I found that there's a lot of good people there, mentors. I want to just give a shout out to my mentors for helping me become more of a leader. I see that a lot of the youth are concerned with having jobs and making money, and we're working with the West Side. I just want to say that the youth are influenced by a lot of things, and the West Side, they helped me to realize that I can change that, by influencing the youth to be positive and working to better themselves instead of what's offered to them on the street corners and through social media is really feeding the youth a lot of negative things. And my leadership, my mentors, they made me realize that I have a gift of reaching the youth, and I just want to thank them so much for having me realize that. Well, we're working with the program. I've slowly but surely progressed. I've worked at the Cheesecake Factory just recently, and me and my guys from the neighborhood, we were able to, at the Cheesecake Factory, we worked in Oakbrook, Schaumburg, I'm sorry. And it's kind of far from home, but thanks to our leadership, they were able to give us, I guess, the leadership skills to get there, on time and, with good work ethics. And I just want to say thanks again.
Emmanuel Dameron, is Emmanuel here? Okay, good. Emmanuel's with the Safe Haven Strive Forward. After Emmanuel will be Courtney Stowe from Joshua Johnston Fine Arts and Design Charter, and after that Roosevelt Woods, Ada S. McKinley Lakeside Academy. I want to thank and recognize State Representative Ken Duncan, who's here now. And just a brief, Marcus Evans wanted to come, but he had a funeral for a relative. Robin Gable had to take her mother to the doctor, and Ken Bennett called and said that he had to meet with the mayor, and I said, can't you just blow that meeting off and come here? But he apologizes too. Thanks. Okay, go ahead.
First of all, I want to say good morning, everybody. Good morning. My name is Emmanuel Dameron. I'm 22 years old, and I just recently completed the Strive program at Safe Haven. Okay. first of all, I want to say, anybody that been through something negative or going through anything negative, is always you can make a positive outcome, because I did it myself by my background and all of that type of stuff, and I didn't think that like you can when you going through so much negative stuff that you can just look at the positive outcome and just do it. Like it's just that easy, because where I'm from, most people they don't go through stuff like this, and they don't really look forward to stuff like this. But I wanted to make a change, so I put my mind to it and said, man, I ain't gonna go down that road that everybody else that I know went down that road. So I said that I'm gonna do something positive for myself, because I want a future for myself, my family, and everybody that love me. So I started getting jobs and stuff like that once I got out of jail, and I just kept going forward, because I ain't want to go back to jail, because that's not a place for nobody who want to do something for themselves. So I did the Strive program was like 2 weeks, and it basically like it showed you the steps to getting a better job and showing you how to do an interview and stuff like that, because I never been to a real interview, and they showed me a lot. They showed me a lot about that, and I never knew you could go through those type of steps. But it was real helpful to me, because my mother, she referred the Strive program to me. At first, I wasn't really feeling it, because you had to dress up and all that type of stuff. But it worked out for the better for me, and I feel like I became a better person through the Strive program. And I just want to tell every young black man that you can always just do better, man. It's more to this street stuff and just trying to be out here living this social media life and all that type of stuff, because young people really need jobs out here, because the stuff that's going on the news, I don't even want to watch the news like that no more, because it's just crazy. Because I'll be like, man, it's people that can do better if they just put their mind to it. And I'll be like, man, I'm changing for myself, because I really want to change. And I feel like I have been working in the progress to do that. So you just got to have a positive mindset to what you want to do, and just keep your mind to it. And I feel like I got to continue to go back to school to get my education, and I'm working on that right now. And I just want to say that, man, you got to stay out the way and get you a job, man, because this streets this ain't for everybody, man, and it's real bad out here, man. I ain't never seen this been like this on my 22 years on this earth. It's just real bad. But I just want to say, man, everybody that's in the youth or the urban league or whatever, the best way, man, is to just get a job, and we need these jobs out here, man, because it's real bad out here. And I just want to just pray for everybody that's just going through this struggle right now, you know, because I ain't never been through no type of stuff like this, and I just try to stay out the way and just keep my mind focused and just try to work. And I'm finna get back in school, and I ain't trying to get into the street stuff no more. I'm just trying to stay out the way, because I ain't trying to be another victim or just be on the news, because once you become that, everybody gonna forget about you. When you could just make a better difference when you going to work and just going to school and just try to be somebody for yourself, and just instead of being somebody that's trying to be popular or just trying to make a name for yourself and stuff like that, because it's real out here, man.
Okay, Roosevelt Woods from Ada S. McKinley, and then Sharif Sanders. Sharif will be next.
My name is Roosevelt Woods. I'm from Ada S. McKinley. Good morning. Good morning to everyone. It's an honor to be here in front of you guys today. My outtake and outlook on the youth employment, it is bad, and it do needs improvement, for the simple fact the killing is going on is mostly caused by today's youth, to be honest. I feel as if more jobs was opened up to the youth, they wouldn't think about a gun. They wouldn't think about an opposition. They wouldn't think about what the rival gang is doing. They would be thinking about a check and the way that they will be able to eat. Some teams now have kids that 14 to 19 years old, they need ways to be able to provide for their children, not just public assistance, WIC or link card or different things like that. We need more programs that's actually going to lend a hand and that's going to help and put forth the effort to help the Chicago youth and the black community. The numbers is statistically prove itself. When they had one summer program, the violent rate decreased. As soon as it left, it rose again. Why? Because more people we have, the teens we have to resort to different things such as drug dealing. And when drug dealing comes, that's when people that are trying to take your money, and that's when you got to defend yourself. Also robberies, also home invasions, different things like that, so they can try to get money to provide for themselves and their family. I'm in a program with Youth Advocate Program on Chicago. The program, it helped me in a way of employment. It helped me in a way that I had a mentor, and it just helped me provide a way to get off the streets and do better things, and to actually see the brighter side of life than to stand on the block of four corners. The mentor program, is teaching me how to step up and become a man and stop depending on minor things. If we had more programs like that, as far as with the school systems, I feel as if it would be less violence going on, more youth employment. Also, the employment, it goes off of you. Can't nobody get a job for you but you. You have to put forth that effort. You have to show that you really willing and you want to work for somebody to employ you. So that's my outlook. That's how I feel.
Sharif Sanders, and then after Sharif, I'd like to bring up Wendy Bueno from Aspira Antonio Pantoja High School, and Amber Velasquez from Dr. Albizo Campos High School.
Hello, good morning, you guys.
Good morning.
Hi, my name is Sharif Sanders. I'm 19 years old. I attend Joshua Johnson High School. One thing I want to touch base on is how employment is very important for youth and adults. You know, it's not only for the adults, but it's also for the youth, because, you know, one thing is when we have financial problems as youth, when we have children, even as our age, we having children, it is very important for us to provide for that children. You do not want to live check by check by the government every month, every year and stuff. I feel like it's important. If you put yourself, when you see a child that's 16 older, putting yourself out there to get that type of employment or trying to reach out there to make a difference, then you need to accept it. Because at the end of the day, I feel like it's a lot of pride and a lot of ego when it comes to employment, finances, with youth, and I feel like us as youth, we can actually make a difference. We're the only one that can make a difference, because if we put ourselves in this predicament where we at right now, I know we can come together and make a change as for one, as all of us, just period. From my experience of employment, I used to work at Target downtown on First Avenue, State Street. It was really good. It was really nice. I was able to provide. This is before I even had my son. I'm a mother of one. My son is 1 year old. I was able to manage money. I was able to buy things on my own. That feeling really feels really good and everything, but it's not always about the feeling. It's about you becoming responsible as an adult, as a public figure, not only for yourself, not only for your child, for others and other youths, but what they see, what you're doing for your own empowerment and your own responsibility. And I just felt, when I had that feeling, it just really felt really good. By me being unemployed now and everything, I'm still doing good and everything, because you know what, at the end of the day, I'm still working hard as a young mother, going to school, even though it's hard, they live in life, even Chicago. I wouldn't even say it's just Chicago. This could be anybody around the world that's going through the same thing that I'm going through as a youth. up in Chicago, anybody my age that have a child, a son or a daughter that's trying to provide, it don't always have to be in Chicago, but one, like I said, as African Americans, Latinos, or whoever you are, we come as one and change it because we're the only one that changed this generation and made this generation the way it is. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Wendy Bueno, and I come from Aspira, Doña Pandoja. I am 19 years old, and good morning as well. I would just like to start off with the quote that was said before: "Nothing stops a bullet like a job." What jobs? What opportunities do we have as young adults? It's been really hard for me to find a job. It took me about 2 years, and it wasn't just by myself. I had to look for people, I had to look for people to help me find that job. I asked a friend, and that friend asked a person, and that person asked the store manager, and that's the way that I had to find that job. And I feel that as a Latina, it's way harder as a Latina and as Black females, and any female in general, it's harder for us because, we have to step up and we have to show, males, they say, oh, like, you guys have to step up to what you guys, and prove yourselves to be stronger, and prove yourselves to be as strong as we are. Okay, so that's more pressure on us. And like the young woman who was next to me, as a single mother, it's a struggle. It's a big struggle to, to be a provider for that child, especially if you're single. And not having that father by the side, it's hard. And I just like to give thanks as well to my advisors. Like, since I got to Aspira, it's been a great change for me. It's helped me. I've become a better person. I've become more responsible. I've learned how to do time management, how to do money management, how to even at my old school, like they wouldn't give us the attention that this school gives us, and it is such a blessing to have these people who are willing to give you that opportunity, who are willing to give you the time and their personal time, to help us out and help us become better people. I'm in a program called Youth Build. It's a construction program. And as me and my friend Diamond, who's sitting over there, we are one of the 3 females who are in that class out of 18 males. So we are taking this, and it's a certification that we get for construction in the future. But what future jobs, are we going to get as females and as males? We don't know if those jobs are secure and are there for us after this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Amber Velasquez. I'm 17 years old. I'm a teen mother of a 10-year-old son. I want to say that I'm very blessed to have my son's father in my life, because I know that being a single mother is very hard. My mother was a single mother, and my aunt was a single mother, so I know the struggle, even though in my place I'm not a single mother. I come from Dr. Pedro Albizu Campos High School. It's my first year here, and I'm an early graduate, so I'm looking towards college, and as going to be a college student, I know that it's very hard to get the money that you need. I do have a job now, and I was surprised to see the presentation on One Summer Chicago because I was in that program for the summer of 2015, and I want to say that that program did help me a lot. It was my first job. I got to meet a lot of teens that were my age and connected with a lot of people. My mentor, Kendall Williams, he was an amazing, amazing person. He taught me a lot of things, how to speak with other teens because I was very, very shy. And he helped me a lot, and not only him, but a lot of other mentors, a lot of other teens did help me. And that job helped me find a job that I'm working with now. And having a job is very, very important to me because I love my family and I really need to provide for them. So the father of my son does not have a job, and it's very hard for him to find a job, and a lot of people look down on him because as a father, he's expected to have a job, and as a mother, I'm the one who's working, and everybody looks at me like, you're the one working? And I'm like, yes, I am. And he takes care of our son, and I want to give props to him because he is with him 24/7, and some days I'm not able to be with them, and it's very hard. It's very hard. I hate seeing him cry when I have to leave. And I just want to say that the jobs that are given to us are very, very important, and they've helped me out a lot.
I want to introduce Quiana Bell from the Westside Health Authority. We have a platform you'll see on the inside of that packet, on the left side on the front page, what ought to be done at the national, state, county, and talk about the city level in terms of providing more jobs for summer and year-round.
Good morning, good morning. I want to just thank all these youth for their powerful testimonies. And, as you can see from the report that was delivered earlier, that we are indeed in a crisis. And I know that there's been a lot of discussions, even among people on this panel, about what is the solution to this crisis. We talk about violence in our city, and it's a national embarrassment. But I'm here today as a community-based agency, a practitioner, to say, along with my coalition partners who are from across the city and across the state of Illinois, to say what we see working in our communities on the most impactful level is youth employment opportunities. When we see young people working, we see them being productive, we see violent rates going down, we know that it works. And so we're here to advocate and to also equip you guys with more ammunition to fight. We know that a lot of you are working very hard in your respective offices to allocate more resources. This seems to be an object of political bickering, where to us it just looks like common sense. And so, we hope that you can take some of this evidence and data that you got today and to take these youth testimonies and to fight for more resources, to allocate more resources. But we put together a little platform which we think is a good working start to help provide some solutions to this issue. We know that it will take a concentrated effort. We know that it will take city, state, federal, and county resources and efforts to come together for this issue. And in this page here, we kind of list out what we think is workable. And this is what we're advocating for. So this is the takeaway from today. You heard a lot of good information, and this is where we would like to start, and we will work with you as best we can to accomplish some of these things. And this is asking for resources and commitments from a county perspective, from a city perspective, from a state, and from the federal government. So I think that working together we can get some amazing things done, so we won't have that young man come back again next year and say, hey, we were here last year saying the same thing. Hello, is this Michael? Can you hear us? These are voting adults, and we have to make this a priority. So I implore you to take this with you and to fight as hard as you can in your respective offices. Thank you.
The next, we're even ahead of schedule. We want to see Maurice Hersey from Community Youth Development Institute, Raven Kimbrough from ASN Prep, and Sean Meldrow from CCA Academy. And we'll hold it to 2 minutes. We're moving right ahead. Thanks.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Raven Kimbrough, and I'm just going to be saying a little bit about my personal experience. The importance of jobs for youth is overlooked by many. A big percentile of youth are unemployed. Fortunately for me, the school I attended and just graduated December 4th, 2015, ASN Preparatory Institute helped me find a job while I was in school. Having a job helped me pay rent because my parents are deceased and me and my sister had to get our own place. It also helped me take care of my little brother who is still in foster care. Now that my temporary employment is coming to an end, I'll be in a big percentile of youth that's employed once again. I now attend Malcolm X College and the hunt for a job continues. Jobs are important. We're young adults, but adults nonetheless, and we have responsibilities that require us to have a job too.
Hi, my name is Maurice Hersey. I'm 17 years old. I'm a young student that resides in the Inglewood community. I attend Community Youth Development Institute. It's in the Auburn Gresham area. I've been a student there for a year and a half. My course of study is construction. I've learned basic carpentry skills, like measuring, building, layout, 8x10 wall frames, measuring, cutting, nailing. I had the opportunity to work this past summer, a volunteer position with the school I attend. I learned basic beginner level landscape, like bush trimming, picking and killing weeds. I also had the opportunity to work in the intern position with my school and the Sweetwater Foundation. Every 2 weeks, I get a check for $300. I also get money from my dad because he's a veteran. That's about like $600 a month. I was getting $1,200 every month, basically. The program lasted for 4 months. I have nothing. The only things I have to show for it is time management, pay attention to close detail to things, and working on speaking in front of people.
You're doing good. You're doing great.
And another thing is providing a roof over my head. My mom hasn't been working since September, and which I started the program. I've been paying the bills while she's been looking for a job. I pay the rent, light, gas, and assist them with putting food in the house. With the internship, I was barely getting by. So imagine how hard it was when the program was over. I'm 17 years old. I want to go party, I want to go to movies, and I want to have fun like everybody else. When I had the internship, I wasn't comfortable, but I had enough to where I was able to pay my phone and get to school. Now I can't pay my phone bill. I'm getting attendance letters from the school. My mom back struggling on the bills. I'm not really looking for sympathy or nothing, but it's just my reality, and I'm dealing with it. I understand for some people, in a situation like mine, never had a job but don't have a job. I know exactly how those people feel, and I never expected me to be going through it because I see it on the news about job unemployment and things like that. I never expected me to go through it. It never affected me personally until now. It's hard. I know it's hard. That's why I think you guys should give youth jobs.
My name is Deshaun Muldrow. I go to CC Academy, class of 2016. I live in the North Rondale community. Where I'm from, like, joblessness is hard because I depend on my mom and my dad to give me money, and when they don't have any money, what do? I have nothing else. I go through my days with no money in my pocket, so I gotta fend for myself. So I've been looking for a job since summer, and I still have not got one. So it's been hard. My mom, she can't walk, so I've been with my grandma, and it's just hard. But like, if I get a job, it'll be helpful, so I can probably pay for her medical bills, because she can't do nothing for herself. She depends on me and my grandma to do everything for her. I go to school, so I'm trying to go to college so I can do something for us. But without a job, it's just hard. And my community ain't nobody got no job. It's just death all around us. I don't want to be a statistic. I want to do something in my life so I can grow up and have kids, have my mom be proud of me.
We have just 6 more students to testify. We should be done in about 15 minutes. The next students, Devontae Perry from Association House High School, Tiara Curran from Prologue Early College, and Elante Watson from Chatham Academy.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Tiara Curran. I'm 20. I'm a graduate from Prologue Early College. It's hard because where I come from is like I grew up seeing my mom struggle so much, being a single mom, and she had 8 kids, and I'm the 3rd oldest. So I look at my little sisters and my little brothers like, I need to get a job to help my mom provide for us. And I really don't want my brothers and sisters to see what I seen my mother go through. It's so much that you can take and you learn from. Like my mentor, Monique Scott and Celeste Sanders, taught me like you have to go for what you want, not what you see. And most people just want it. They don't go out and get it. And I am a team sports manager at Prologue Early College, and I like getting up in the morning, going to work, and the checks that I do get, they go to my mom to provide for my little sisters and my little brothers. I really don't look at materialistic things like all my friends do, but sometimes it do hurt, like when I can't go out with them because I don't have any money. But I look at it like that's cool because I have brothers and sisters to look forward to. They don't. They have a spoon in their mouth. And they don't understand the struggle that most people go through. And my brother, he graduated from Prologue by an inch. And he attended River Forest University. And I'm happy for him. And I stayed back to help my mama. And it's just hard. That's all I have to say.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm kind of nervous, so if I stutter, just, All right. Hi, my name is Devontae Perry, and I'm a student at Association House, and I'm a mentee in the Get in Chicago program. I was born and raised on the west side of Chicago, but there's not too many opportunities to help us teens get to where we need to be in life. I want to tell y'all a story about myself. I'm 20 years old, and I'm a proud father of 2 kids. I had my first at 15, and I just had another one on Christmas, and she just made a month today. I dropped out of school for 2 years to try to make enough money to support me and my family. I tried many different jobs, but had trouble finding jobs that would give me enough hours and enough pay to support my family. Nothing was working out for me. I decided to go back to school. And I decided to go back to school. I didn't let nothing stop me. Like, when I lost one job, I went straight home to start looking for another one. And the thing I'm trying to say is, when you want something in life, you don't let nothing stop you because it's not working for you right in and now. Just keep praying and move forward. Jobs is very important for us teens at this point in time in Chicago because what if there wasn't no jobs? For us teens, the next thing is selling drugs or out on the street corners, and that's going to result in anger, violence, and people dying, families crying. We don't need no more of that in Chicago. Like I said earlier in my speech, I dropped out of school just to work when I was 18. For 2 years, I'm 20, and I still had the opportunity to go to school. Now that I'm back in school and looking for a job, thanks to all the resources that I have, thanks to all the resources that I have and that I know, and now that I know how to approach people the right way to get a job, putting in applications every day, all day, going to job fairs every weekend, calling every day to jobs on the hour every day, making little stops so they can see my face and know that I'm willing to work. And putting time and effort out my day just to come here so I can have a chance to get the job. The point I'm trying to make is whatever you do in life, don't let it be something that's going to result in something bad. There's so many jobs out here for us teens to have. We just have to get it and make sure that it's the right choice, and that is the right choice. There's a lot of opportunities out in this world for us young teens and the teens that's about to be going into adulthood. Keep putting effort, never give up on anything that you do. Keep moving forward and keep grinding for what's right. A good job can change a person's life. It can help support a family like mine or keep a kid off the streets and out of prison. If you want to make a positive change in these communities, help give teens jobs. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alonte Watson. I attend Chatham Academy. I'm 19 currently, and I just want to get into something a little personal. I lost my job recently, about a month ago, to the simple fact that I couldn't remember where the things went. And I couldn't remember because I had a tragic brain injury in 2009 when I was 14, but I didn't know I was supposed to tell him that. And yeah, it hurt me because I went out and got it on my own. And it felt good when I got it. I was running through the house. Yeah, I got the job, making my auntie irritated because I was yelling. So when I told her I lost the job, she was like, why? And I told her the reason. And for that whole week, I didn't go to school. My amazing mentor, Miss Sonia Easley, she said, you need to get your butt in school. And I said, okay. I didn't come the next day. She called me again. I didn't want to answer, but I answered. She said, yeah, we really need you in school. So I came, and she said, well, she said depression is not your friend. It's just going to hold you down and keep you on the ground. So when I heard that, everyone started to yo, Alonte, you got it, man. You got it. Just keep striving. And that's why I grind for greatness. Thank you.
The last three students, Malik, Milan, Isdell, Levi, and Marquise Dowdell. I made a remark about Ken Bennett. He's a good friend. Everybody knows he's the father of Chance, and he really did want to be here. He just apologizes. As they're coming to sit down, what I think a lot of us know about the problem in Iraq and how there was a lot of violence, and we sent 30,000 troops in, which was called the Surge. But people don't know that in 2007, we also employed 100,000 young Sunni guys, 20 to 30 years old, 100,000 on our direct payroll, which helped to reduce the violence significantly. If you talk to veterans and they were in Iraq, they know this. They were paying these young guys who were blowing us up with IEDs and things like that, stop. That made a big difference. They were being paid about $350 a month, which the average salary in Iraq is about $280. They certainly weren't going to blow up their own employers. But so having employment really makes a huge difference. It's been evident quickly and sharply in Iraq. The violence resumed when the new president of Iraq fired them all. Go ahead.
How's everybody doing this morning? My name is Ezekiel Levi. I attend Innovations High School. I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago, Inglewood neighborhood. It was hard growing up. Traveled back and forth out of town, Nashville, Tennessee, to Chicago. Growing up with my mother was difficult. Single mother, seeing her struggles, it just made me want to do more for our family. I always wanted to provide for her because I hated seeing her crying, hated seeing her come from work so tired, she just hopped straight in the bed. I just wanted to do more for her at a young age. Now, it's a little bit better. I understand, well, at a young age, I understood that education and money was an important role in our lives. I understand that employment is an important role. Nervous, don't mind. I'm nervous. I just wanted to say, education is the key to striving your goals. Teen employment, as the statistic was shown, joblessness is crazy. It's just ridiculous. And I see that a lot of black men in these streets say they want to do better, but they really don't. They don't. They want to strive, but they don't at the same time. With me growing up around 4 brothers, it was hard. It was hard because at one time I was going one direction, then I didn't want to go that direction because it was always going to put me in that worst served predicament. We was already at a worse predicament. I just wanted to provide for my family and do more. So about 4 years ago, I attended Gage Park. I seen the route that I was I seen the route that I was going, and I really wasn't happy with it. So I decided to change schools myself, and I attended Innovations High School. Ever since then, I've been getting more education. I've been just trying to do more for myself and my family and just keep my head right. That's basically it.
That's great.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
As long as I said. My name is Marquise Dowdell. I'm 18 years old. I'm raised over there in Inglewood area, you know. And I think this job problem, it can actually solve 2 things. It can also solve the violence, if I say. Because if you're so busy working, you don't have time to be on the street. When you come home from work, you want to lay. You want to be in a house. You want to rest. So that you won't have enough time to be out on the street with all this violence. So this job, it can actually help both. And yes, I've been around, where I live now, I live on the west side, and it is kind of bad. It is, and I don't think people want to be out there. I just think they out there because they have to be out there. They have families. Because I can say every teen in this room, we all filled that application multiple times, bunch of times. We never got a call back, never got an email back. We haven't got anything back. So and bills have to be paid, it's like they're not going to wait for you to get a job, and it's like it doesn't resort to anything else. But with the program that the school had gave me with YCCS, I'm happy to say it landed me my second job with this. My first one was Windy City Call Center as a telemarketer. My second one, as I'm working right now, is with Burger King. And because I had to support myself since I was 16. I had to move out, and I had to find, because I still got to pay bills, I still got to do phone bill, and I still got to, have enough to support myself. So I've been doing this since I was 16. And I think with this job has been helping me. It helped a lot, actually, and I'm actually about to get my own place, thanks to the job. So I think with the programs that have been going on all through the city, it can help more youth. It really have. I grew up in a single family home, but my mom, she had a job. She worked as a nurse. She worked as a nurse, I'm sorry. So I'm just happy about the program that the school has given me, and I think it would be more programs like this. It would be more successful students.
Good job.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Malik Milan, and I attend Sullivan House High School on 81st in South Chicago. To give you a little background information about myself, I'm 18 years old. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. I previously attended Bogan High School. I was a star athlete, honor student, but my junior year I dropped out. And the reason being was because work. When you have straight A's and scholarships in school, what does it mean when you come home to a house with no lights or no water, or you don't know where you're going to sleep? I mean, it's like, what am I doing it for? So when I had to sacrifice my own wants and needs to provide for my family, it's crazy when it seems like the city doesn't care. Because that's what happens to a lot of us young teens. We become the providers at the age of 16, 17, 18. We become the man of the house. Because just last summer, not even summer, spring, Easter Sunday, on Easter Sunday, I lost my father to street violence. So when he was killed, I became the man of the house. I have to take care of my little brother, my little sister, and my grandmother. And it was hard balancing being a provider and school. So I had to choose between family and education. And that was a big factor. And I mean, with jobs, it could be like he just said, jobs can save lives. If I'm working, I'm not thinking about the streets. I'm not thinking about gang banging. I don't have to sell drugs, rob, steal, none of that. I have a job. I'm gonna wake up, go make my money, go home, eat, go to sleep. Nothing else to worry about. You feel me? But jobs prepare us for the future as well. I was always taught that you give a man a fish, you feed him for that day. But you teach a man how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. You feel me? Teach us how to fish. Teach these teens how to fish. If you give us jobs, you prepare us for the rest of our lives. Now I have determination. I know I have people skills. I have these life skills. I know how to communicate in different environments and different situations. Jobs give us those skills, and we use those for the rest of our lives. And we need those things to be successful. So, I mean, if you want to see a change, if you want to see difference, give these teens jobs, because it will help. It will. That's all I have to say. Thank you for your time.
We have one more student from Jane Addams, and then we're done. I want to recognize Alderman Willie Cochran for coming. Thank you very much. We have one student who will testify for a couple minutes, and then if you've been in these things before, they sort of drag on, and we're even ahead of schedule.
I'm only talking. They came up here with me because I was nervous. Don't worry. We all came from Jane Addams. I'm 18 years old. I just turned 18 in December. Before then, I didn't get a job for 2 years. My mama told me, oh, when you're 16, you're going to get a job. Turned 16, couldn't get a job. Turned 17, couldn't get a job. Came, summer of last year. I was like, okay, Ma, I'm going to work for one summer in Chicago. She was like, okay, you still got to apply for some jobs. That's not going to last long. I'm like, all right. Apply for some jobs. Couldn't get none. Applied for some more. Couldn't get none. I was too young. They didn't want me to. I couldn't do nothing they had. I ain't had no experience, but how am I going to get the experience if they don't give me none? Right. So it didn't work. Domino's came. I was like, okay, I'm apply. She's like, okay, you got to go up there. You got to show them that you want the job. I go up there. I'm like, hi, I'm just giving a name to a face, you know, I mean, a face to a name. He was like, okay, come see me Wednesday. You'll start working Wednesday. I was like, what? So, I mean, it was just like, everybody can get a chance. You just don't know who it's going to be. You don't know where it's going to come from. Just keep trying. I mean, my life wasn't as hard as everybody's. My mom and my dad was there, but when, 3 years ago came, my dad had went to jail. I was like, oh my God, what are we going to do? My mom became a single parent. It's two of us, it's me and my older brother. He was going to college, so now she got to juggle 2 jobs, take care of both of us, and send them to college. Tuition needs to be paid, my tuition needs to be paid. I had to get a job. It was what it was. Everybody looking at me, I'm sorry, I'm nervous.
You're good. It's all right. You're okay.
You're good. You're good.
When I got kicked out of my second school, we had to go to Jane Addams. We was like, all right, this is the last one. If not, what you gonna do? So I walked in. I was like, hey, I'm looking for a school to attend. He was like, okay, apply. We'll accept you. I got accepted. They worked with me. Now I got a job, and I go to school, and I graduate in June on time.
All right, all right.
Thank you. I just want to say thanks to everybody that's out there looking at us, looking at the youth, and thank you for even giving us the opportunity to come here and talk to y'all about what we have to go through every day to get a job or to have the opportunity to even apply for one. I'll be on Facebook every day, all day. By the way, sorry about the social media attacks that everybody gave. But I do have a job, and I do work for myself, and I do help my mom. It's a lot of good people out here in the world. We just need the opportunity to help. We need to push that, the support that y'all have. Even if we don't have the jobs, but even if we go to school, we still need the support to let us know that, we do care for y'all. You might not have the support at home, but the help is outside of home as well. Thank y'all.
All right.
Good job.
Great job.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for everybody coming who came. It's important to keep an eye on what the next steps will be. Talk to your state legislators, talk to your aldermen and county commissioners about we need to get more resources to get more kids off the street. Remember, a job will stop kids from being killed. Thank you.